Thank you. Mr. Watts, Mr. Lewis, Mr. Parker, Mr. Sakonovsky, Ms. Schreiber, Ms. Walford. Thank you.
Okay. For those of you who haven't been to any of these before, just wanted to go over a couple things to get us started. First of all, you won't hear a whole lot of dialogue among the members of the commission up here this evening. We're here really to listen, to receive input. We have a series of meetings that are scheduled. I'll get some information out to you at the end of the meeting about, kind of the follow-up meetings from here. But the next one is actually on October 13th, and it's over at the airport in the McGee room. Basically, what we're going to be doing at that meeting is taking all of the comments that we've heard in the listening sessions around the county, along with some additional comments from the county staff, some suggestions from them and areas to look at in the charter. And then members of the commission will be going around and starting to talk about sort of areas of the charter that we may want to work on over the next several months. So this process, is kind of kicking off now. It will go until sometime around May or so, as far as developing, any proposed amendments that'll be moving forward, and then we'll be presenting those to the county council, and ultimately they end up on the ballot in next year's elections. So just to kind of familiarize the folks that are here, this is a process that's spelled out in our charter. Every 10 years, we take a look at our charter. We get a group of appointed members together to look at the structure of the charter and decide whether or not there are any portions of it that need to be updated. Just real quick, for those of you who aren't familiar, charter versus a non-charter county, I think we're somewhere around a little bit over half of the counties in Florida are charter counties, which means essentially they have any authority or power that is not prohibited by the state or superseded or preempted by the state law, versus non-charter counties that have the authority that's specifically laid out in state law. And the charter itself is really kind of a structural document. It kind of establishes what the structure of our government is at the county level. It has things that can be then executed, in the regulatory aspects, like some of the countywide standards we have in Chapter 50 of the county ordinances. But it's really not a regulatory document; it's more structural. At our first meeting, last month, we adopted some rules of procedure. So I've got slips up here for everybody that's registered to speak. I'll call you up and just ask you to state your name and address clearly, so that we can get it on the recordings and everything, and include it in the minutes. We ask you to provide your comments in 3 minutes. If you are on a roll and there's some other things that you want to add to it, then we can let you have some additional time as needed. So with that, unless anybody on staff has any other comments we need to get into, we'll get directly into our speakers. So Robert Flaherty, please come up and again state your name and address for the record.
Robert Flaherty, Deltona. I hope I'm improving. I'm here to propose a charter amendment to establish a citizen police review board in Volusia County. This board would provide independent oversight of law enforcement conduct, enhancing transparency, accountability, and public trust. But more importantly, it's a fiscally responsible solution to a growing liability. Counties with review boards consistently report fewer excessive force lawsuits and lower settlement costs. Oakland, California saw a 24% drop in payouts over 5 years after implementing theirs. Oversight also leads to lower insurance premiums and improves eligibility for federal grants tied to accountability, especially from the Department of Justice. Beyond dollars and cents, it reduces protest-related costs and improves cooperation between law enforcement and the public. That's efficiency we can't afford to ignore. Legally, this proposal is sound. Under Florida's Home Rule Authority, Volusia County has the power to create independent oversight bodies. This model mirrors successful boards in other counties and aligns with our charter values. The cost, modest. The return, significant. By investing in oversight, we reduce long-term liabilities, protect taxpayers' dollars, and strengthen public confidence. I respectfully urge this commission to recommend placing this amendment on the 2026 ballot. Let's not repeat Osceola's mistake. Let's lead with accountability. Thank you. Yield.
Thank you, Mr. Flaherty. And I think that was right around 387 words again. And I think you're getting better on your timing. So very good job. Okay. Next speaker is Robert Sanchez.
My name is Robert Sanchez. I'm from Edgewater, unincorporated Volusia.
Okay.
And I would like to make an amendment to the charter. So whenever the agents and the code enforcement board steps onto people's property, they have to get an inspection warrant. Right now, through the Freedom of Information, I got the information of how many violations and inspections you guys conducted since 2014 up until 2023. 24, and you guys did 6,200 inspections with violations with only one inspection warrant, and that was in 2023. So I'm pretty sure out of the 6,200 times, all of the residents did not allow these inspectors onto their property, into their homes, past their gate of their property. So I would like it so these code members would know and understand the agents before they go out to a property. Maybe they could piggyback onto the oversight board that he's talking about, where they say, absolutely not. If you want to trespass on somebody's property, you're going to have to get an inspection warrant. No exceptions. We have all the agents that were under oath. They just said that was part of their training. They don't know. We had the director say, to make it clear, it just takes too much time to get an inspection warrant. It's too hard and it takes too much time. Well, the Florida State Constitution, the United States Constitution protects against that. And we believe that it has to be in black and white because they start weaponizing the government. And at the same point in the administrative board, you have to go to the county clerk to get witnesses subpoenaed. We go to them, give them all the names, and then the day before the time is run up to get subpoena, you get the attorneys email you and say, oh, they're not relevant to your case. Well, the DEP was relevant to the case. Another thing, they need to be trained under the Volusia County Code, when it points to a Florida statute or a Florida administrative code, that rest of that section falls under that code. If they point to 62-340 in the administrative code, that whole section has to be governed under 62-340. They cannot pick and choose what they want to do. And I just feel like all of them, and possibly family members. I've been noticing there's a lot of family members. When I had to deal with them on my property, I had 3 family members come into my property unannounced, trespass, to give me these code violations. I tried to get to a supervisor. It went up right to his family member, his father. And there has to be rules against that. And there is rules against the family members in there. I would just like them to follow it and really start protecting constitutional rights, because it's going to open you up to lawsuits, which we're in. So thank you. I yield my time.
Now I got to remember to turn it back on. Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Appreciate you coming out this evening. Okay. Next speaker I have is Catherine Pante.
Good evening, Catherine Pante, Daytona Beach. I'd like to have it written in the charter to increase our conservation to 55% for Volusia Forever. My next one is, I would like to remove the council's power for direct county expenditures. Too much dipping in the piggy bank there. Require code to have cameras. And ban all fill and build, so no fill for all subdivisions, even if they've already been approved in the building code for stem wall construction. Raising the grade is just too much. It's causing too much flooding. And I want to just reiterate as far as from the other evening, just lost my train of thought. I'll come back to it in a second. Let me think on it. I totally went out of my mind.
Is this the one that you came back up on last time?
It was one of the ones from last time. It had to do with. I'm totally blank. Give me a minute.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's the last speaker card that I have. Is there anybody else that would like to add some comments or stand up and offer some thoughts on the charter or any amendments? Board, any problem? Come on up. Just state your name and address for the record again, if you wouldn't mind.
Robert Sanchez, Edgewater, Florida. I would also like to add, when we get in front of the administrative board, when the citizen brings up that there was a trespass and a constitutional violation, the members up there should ask if that happened and get the particulars. They don't want to hear it. They say, this is not for this hearing. You have to appeal that to another court. The regular citizens of this county don't have the money to keep appealing up to different courts. I mean, there has to be law and the observation of due process in the administrative court and that hearing. So, yep.
Okay.
And also that was for the warrant, when I told them the trespass, and also when they tell them, the citizen tells them, hey, I told the clerk to subpoena my witnesses. They're not here. They did not subpoena them. The board right then should be obligated to continue the case. If the citizen does not have their witnesses that they believe is important to their case, they have to continue the case. They can't just continue and then hear whatever the agents have to say, what the violations were, without the witnesses from the citizen. We get a continuance for that
Right.
board hearing. You know, if I can't go there with my witnesses,
Right.
what are we, I need to be able to prove myself correct. Thank you.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Ms. Pantate, you remember it? Okay. Just state your name and address for the record again, just so we've got it
Catherine
clear in the
Pantay.
minutes.
Catherine Pantay,
Daytona.
protected, protected address, Daytona Beach. Anyway, the millage rate. I think we should write in the charter that it cannot be lowered for Volusia Forever. We had that suggestion pop up yesterday.
Okay.
And then I want to make sure, reiterate on the PLRDC that the council must hear everything that goes in front of the PLRDC has to go in front of council. They might have changed their by right, but everything needs to go in front of the council. They shouldn't be able to shirk that duty. That's what they were elected for.
Okay.
And I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anybody else in the audience like to address the commission or offer some comments? I'm going to kind of keep us around a little bit. We kind of left quickly in Ormond the other day, and I just want to make sure that in case anybody walks in a little bit late, they get an opportunity. In the meantime, I'm going to ask Clayton Jackson to come up and fill our time a minute. Clayton's the public information officer with the county, and he's going to give us some information on the communication efforts with regard to the Charter Review Commission. So, Clayton.
Hey, it's doing great. I don't have to mention my name and title. You took care of that for me. So again, I'm Clayton Jackson, Public Information Officer for Volusia County Government. I just want to give the commission a little update on the outreach efforts to ensure that the community is aware of the meeting and listening sessions going on. On the Charter Commission's website, we added another button, submit your input. They click that. It gives a brief explanation of how they can do that, a direct link to the charter for a quick review, as well as the email address. That way they can submit their comment. Additionally, I know you guys got one more listening session coming up on Monday. So we do have a social media post queued up and ready to go out Saturday morning. It will remind them of that meeting, as well as the regular meeting in October, as well as the email address of how they can submit their comments. So I just wanted to give you all a brief update on our outreach efforts.
And we thank you for that. Thank you for all the work that you and staff are putting in to kind of help make sure that the word's getting out on these.
All right.
So-
Thank you, guys.
Mr. Lewis.
Let me ask you a
Good
question.
on you, Mike.
You put this in the newspaper. You put it, these meetings in the paper. I know you put them online, but there are a lot of people that don't go online. I think it would behoove you to maybe put something in the paper if you haven't already.
Put in the newspaper, yeah, we did do the news release, so probably it goes out to about 400 different reporters, the News Journal, West Orlando, Hometown News, Beacon. So we did submit the news release with all that information to them to publish that. I know it's on our website, social media. We talk about it on our radio show that I do one every Thursday morning as well as Friday morning. So we're doing our best to get the word out there. Yes, sir.
Mark, can you put the address out again? And also, if he's doing it every Thursday or ever how often, can he put the address out on his news, the email address I'm referring to?
Yes. You guys get all that? I think the request was, can we make sure that we're getting the email address, again, for the suggestions to be emailed out early and often? So you want to give us the email address one more time?
vccharter@volusia.org.
Perfect. And then I think if we can just make sure that anytime we're talking about the process to include the email address, I think you guys have been doing that. And one of the things that we've also said at some of the prior meetings is we may have more of these because we're going to get into a discussion of some of the potential substantive changes to the charter. And at that point in time, we may, as a commission, determine that we want to get back out and get some additional input from citizens in addition to our normal meeting schedule. So we'll kind of play that by ear as we go through the process. Nick.
Yeah, thanks. So just to clear, you said VC Charter or VC Charter Review?
VC Charter Review. Sorry, I don't have my phone
Yeah,
on me.
no, yeah.
That may have been it.
I just want to make sure it's correct. There's no point putting the wrong email address in.
Check that. So I got the social media thing queued up. I'll go check that
Yeah,
right now.
VC Charter Review
But yeah,
at Volusia.
But also as commission members, I don't know if you have your personal social media accounts, but obviously whenever we do post about it, sharing it to help amplify that, because the more people who share, the more people who like, comment, the algorithms pick up and it goes more to our community.
But that being said, we're supposed to then send a copy of that to that email address. That's what we've been told. So, yep. You can ask.
I think if you're asking if you
No,
get
we
direct,
we were definitely told that.
yeah, if you get direct input to you through something
No,
that's
when we
not
send
county, then
anything out, if we post
we
it,
send it
we're
out.
supposed to send a copy, a screenshot of it. That
Correct.
we were specifically told that. So that's one of our responsibilities if we do what you just suggested.
That's what the attorney's over there for. I'm just trying to amplify the efforts
Yeah,
and get the
very good.
message out.
So the question I had actually was, when are we going to get the input that you receive online?
So, Mr. Dyer, you want
Yeah.
to talk about the process you guys are working through?
At your meeting in October, we'll have a summary of everything you've heard from citizen input, as well as you had requested some things that staff had identified for you at least talk about. And we will include at that time anything we've received through that portal. And if I would say at any future meeting of yours, if we received additional feedback, we will share that with you.
Thank you, Mr. Dyer. And one of the things, just for the commission's, information, I've actually set up meetings before each of the agendas so that we can go through and make sure that all the information is being provided in the agenda materials. So I'm going in and meeting with county staff to kind of go through the agenda, almost like an agenda conference, to go through the agendas and make sure everything that we've talked about being in those agenda materials is there, so that when we get to the meetings, we've got all that information. It's nice to have an office across the parking lot from the county building. So I'm heading over to do that on a recurring basis.
Oh, and just
You're back.
Gentlemen was correct. It is VC Charter Review at volusia.org. Again, VC Charter Review at volusia.org. And again, as people watching, that's on the website already, and then we'll be blasting this on social media to help spread awareness.
Okay. Thank you very much. So I don't have any other speakers that have filled out cards. Does anybody else want to say anything else before we adjourn the meeting? Showing that we've been here about 20 minutes, and I think we've had some good input. If there's no other speakers, I'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting for tonight.